Hi everyone, thanks for joining in. This is designing a battery cover for the rigid battery that I have here. This is the rigid battery. We're continuing where we left off. This was the part that I designed and 3D printed that you can see on the screen right now. And I just want to continue the plate down the bottom. And if we have time before turkey is served, we'll do this. Before we continue, I just want everybody to know I wish you a happy Thanksgiving. And hope you eat a lot of turkey today. I'm just bringing up my stream here so I can verify that it's working. I should be streaming in 4K because now I have more bandwidth on my internet. Looks like it's working. Although it says quality is 480p. Yeah, that ain't too good. Change the quality. 1080p. I wonder if I have a rescale setting. Not rescaling. Doing 4K. I don't know why it's only showing me the option of 1080p on the live stream, but hey, it doesn't matter. I'm recording. So the last we left off, I was drawing a bunch of construction lines, and that ended up binding me, constraining me too much. So I'm going to do a 3-point rectangle to continue this bottom part that has to extend down to this point. And I already have that measurement, so I can do a dimension from here. Nope. Dimension here. Here. I just want to verify that measurement with my calipers. 68. Yeah, that's right. So we'll do a 3-point rectangle, and 3 points because I want to span these 2 points and a point down here. And then I want to do a fillet down here. Do from here. $17 is fine. Okay, so these two we could, these would be considered one unit right here. So that would be the entire plate that would go from this point all the way to the end here. Then I have to work on a portion that'll block this area here. So I need to take those measurements now. And I'll draw some construction lines. I have a measurement around 31 millimeters. So we can draw construction. And it's going to be from the center point. I want to measure the width. I don't need it to be exact. I'll make it a little bit smaller. So I got 43 millimeters for the inside. I want to do a center point. We'll just make this 43. So that's going to give us our extents, so we know where we're going to. That's how wide this opening needs to be. And I think we said 31. Yep. 31 measured downward. And now I'm just dragging these points up. Dragging the whole thing. Alright, so now I can do a 3-point rectangle. And this is not construction. Well, I'd like to see if I can hide this. I don't know if I can hide individual pieces and then unhide them. Alright, I'm not worried about it. I got my point. So this needs to be raised. No, that'll be extruded downward. And I don't need to go down all the way, or do I don't want to go down all the way. Just trying to think how to do this so I'm not chewing up a lot of plastic. Guess it won't matter if I have the infill set low. So let me just measure this now. Okay, I got 11.86, so we'll just call it 11. That'll be extruded downward 11. Probably do that now. Extrude downward 11 millimeter. And then this entire thing needs to be extruded upward. And I think I measured this 2mm or 3. 2. And then this one edge. So when I slap this into this here, push it down. That's the way it's going to be when I try to slide it on. Only the one really locks in. I can get it there eventually with some wiggling around. So what I need to do is I need to taper this end, thanks to, I think it was Bob. Happy Extruder said to taper this. Can we do a little chamfer maybe? What's going on? That ain't right. So we want the edges, so we'll select this one and that one. Is that right? Nope. Bring chat up. Let me know if all of a sudden it's slow for me. I'm trying to look at chat. Let's see what pop-out chat is showing over here. Hey, Greg the Great, yeah. Thanks for joining, Paul Peck. Yeah, so this is designing, well, I'm certain you got Rigid Power Tools or Milwaukee, which is the same company, or Ryobi. So, are you going to consider wall mount? Oh, that's another idea. Wow. I didn't even consider that, Greg. Let's see, can I pop this chat out? And then let's resize my window here. I'll resize it over to this half. Change my chat. Yes, that's way too big. That's what she said. Yeah, so 360, yeah, if you're not using 360, it's definitely awesome. Definitely awesome. So I need to figure out how to chamfer this, and that's... Yeah, you can definitely use this technique to do it, although I don't necessarily recommend my technique because I'm still learning. But I got to tell you, from Bob's help and Happy Extruder's help, Bob Young, Papa Top on Twitter, they've been guiding me along the way and then sending me links to videos to watch. Modify chamfer. Do I do the edges this way? And no, no. Not what I want. You know what? I'm going to worry about that later, but I'm thinking I might need two different points in here that would take away material. All right, so this is only one part of what I need. This gives me the whole top part and the area that's going to protect the battery, which the terminals, I really don't need this part in here. I'm just doing it anyway just so I know, but I think it would give it some rigidity and would help my cause. And that might even be a point for storing it on the wall, because then I have an area in this part here where I could drill into and mount a hook, or even design this out so I can have what are those notches called that you use for hanging pictures? Yeah, you know what, that might be. Okay, you refreshed. All right, good. So I'm pumping out a lot of bits. I think I'm setting it to 25,000 bits per second. 25 megabits a second, I think is what I'm doing. So that's a lot of bits, but you can refresh to a lower video rate if you need to. And the other thing I want to ask is, can you see all the controls? See, I'm on a 49-inch monitor. So my monitor is like, I see, this is my angle of view right now for my periphery. It's really awesome for working, but it would be bad if you're watching this on a smartphone, I think, which is a problem because I think most people are saying that they're watching on a smartphone. All right, next part. So I think we can turn off bodies now. So we're back to the sketch. And then I need to work on the part that's going to extend downward around this and wrap around to, not that much plastic there to do that. I think I'll have it extend outward at this point here. I just need it to force fit under here. So this might not be that big of a deal. I might be able to get this done in this time frame. I was concerned that I'd have to span this over several videos. The printing definitely will take a while because this is a large part. All right, I'm just taking my measurements again. I'm measuring this depth here, and then we already know what the height is there. I think we said that was 11, but now I need this to be an accurate measurement because I need it to force fit. So, all right, for those who have not used calipers before, just a quick rundown of some things that I learned. You want to, whenever you measure something, you want to try to measure 3 times. There's a method to that, and it has to do with uncertainty. I'm going to create another video on uncertainty, but the more times you measure, it kind of rules out these things that we're uncertain about, and it can do with what angle. Like, let's say you're using a tape measure. Did you measure at the beginning of the day, or did you measure at the end of the day? Let's say you have a 100-foot tape measure. Early in the morning, it's cold. Middle of the day, depending on where you're at, like if you're in Florida or something, that tape measure can expand by, you know, half an inch or something, 100 foot. So now you have this long distance that just changed by half an inch. And if you're worried about measurement, so anyway, my point is that there's many variables that go into measurement. So 3 times is like the rule of thumb to get an accurate measurement. 10 times really improves that, but then beyond that, you're diminishing returns. Unless you have a system that automatically measures and averages. So what you do is you take them and you average them together. So I got 12.08. I'm going to go with a measurement of 12. you know, and the other concern is, yeah, I'm measuring this distance, so there's this little thing here you can use on the calipers to, you know, extend out to measure depth of something. But consider the variables that go into play when you're measuring. Am I holding this perfectly perpendicular? Because if I'm not, does that change the measurement a little bit? Yeah, it would. So if you're getting down to the point of a 0.01 millimeter, you're you could be off a little bit. So that's why I'm rounding down to 12. I'm reading 12.07. You heard me earlier, I read 12.08. So that gets into a little bit of that. Got 12. So that means I have to come down 12, and I want to make sure this measurement on the outside is good enough. I got a measurement of 76 on the outside. So we should do some construction lines. Click our viewport. Now we're looking down on the part, and I need 76 for the outside. See what my measurement is here. D. Measure. I'm hitting the D key to measure, but then I hit escape to reset what I'm doing. Yeah, that's that distance, but that's not long enough. I'll do that. I need 76. I'm going to use a center rectangle just to create some construction lines. So over here on the panel, you can do all these constraints. I'm going to set up a construction line. So I click this little tab on the sketch palette on the upper right. And then I'm going to draw a rectangle. And I'll make this 38, well, really 76. Rectangle, center point. That's from my axis. That's good. That gives me the extents. I can delete these points. See, my last time working on this, I made some big mistakes with having all these different construction lines all over the place, and then I ended up getting constrained. So this is the face. That's what I got. Or maybe I'm not understanding. So the face is all this part right here, right? And then the part I'm working on now is making it so that it actually really what I'm modeling is this. That's what I'm modeling. But in such a way that it will lock into place. Right? That's all I'm doing. And you can see I could actually take measurements from this. Not a bad idea, but I'm trying to do it the other way just by inspecting the part. Almost like a challenge. And that's just what I'm doing right there. And I'm sure the longer you watch a stream, the more of a delay there will be between what you're typing and what I'm responding to. All right, so this becomes another point. I'll come from now. I don't need to go the whole way. I'm going to measure downward from. And by the way, when you do this measurement, always take your caliper back to the beginning and zero out. Even when you take 3 measurements, do that every time. Yep. I'm measuring down 23 millimeters. Measuring down to this point where I really need to start this bottom part. Now I need just a rectangle to go down 23. And I can delete these extra pieces. That's where the rectangle will start. Should just drag this up. And then it's going to come down all the way to the bottom. Here, it'll come down to this point. I like that this keeps moving. I want to move that point. Then you have to hit enter to lock it in. And it's easier to move it this way than dragging the cursor, because then you have a chance of what you witness, my cursor moving around vertically when I'm moving a line horizontally, and that changes the position. And then just hit enter to lock it in. So that was a right click and move. Now I can do a rectangle all the way down to the bottom here. I can get this point. I can get this point, move. This is just the extents. So what's up with that? I don't want to drag the free move, I want to drag the arrow. That way if I drag the free move, I can move around anywhere. I can even rotate, I don't want to do that. That's just the point anyway, it doesn't matter. But if I drag this, it'll free move. If I drag it this way, it'll move along one axis. That way we're locked in. So now I can draw a rectangle at that point. So just here at this intersection, down to here, and you notice it just automatically snaps to that intersection. And it's not construction. So that's the full extent, and then I want to round off these guys. And that's 17. I don't know why when I enter a value for a fillet on one side, it doesn't repeat that same measurement that I just entered at the other side. Alright, so this is what we want to extrude downward. And this is going to extrude upward also. So we'll go upward. By 2 millimeter. And then we're going to go, yeah. Okay, so we don't want to turn the body off. On, select. Where do I want? So now I want to measure. That gave me the total plate area. I don't want to extend downward yet. I have to draw in areas that I have a measurement of 66 millimeters. So 66 millimeters is about for this area here, this distance. Thinking I need it to be just a little bit bigger. So I'll go with 67 millimeter, 66 and a half maybe. Because it looks like 67 was a little bit too much play. Sideways. You get a 66 and a half. Tiny amount of play. So it's really going to lock in with these clips. I'm not too worried about play down here. I'm not putting this battery cover in here in such a way that I expect it to lock in. It's going to be difficult to remove. I just want to get it locked in to protect from these terminals shorting out. That's all. And it could be for mounting on the wall too, which is a great idea. Yeah, so I like Greg Great's idea for that. So now we need a measurement of 66. Let's see how far we are. I want to go to sketch mode. Nope. Stat. I just want to measure from 1 point, which apparently I can't do. Here. 69. Now I need a reference for 66. Center point. This is all I'm worried about right now. And the distance, which will go bottom. I'm just eyeing it up. 53. Make that I want to move that so that it is at this point Please, I'll make that construction with plans to delete it all. What does this give me? This gives me the outer part that's going to extend downward a small amount. And bottom. $10 millimeters. Whole thing needs to move. And I want to move point to point. Now after deleting all those lines, I don't know if that's the center. Still one object. I need a center point there. So I just added a point, so now I can move. Let me add a point here. So now I can use that as a reference point. I think I can select this entire. I gotta do it individually. And I can move it. I want to specify my pivot point. Be here. I can turn that point off. No, I don't need the pivot point. I'm just going to go from here to this point to this point. So I move the entire thing. So by adding a point on each of those lines, the center point, using the midpoint snap, I was then able to use the move to move from point to point. And it literally just moved it up in line with the bottom line. That's exactly what I wanted. Now I need to delete all of this. I just want to try to delete the construction lines because it creates a lot of noise in the drawing, and you start to lose sight of what you're trying to accomplish. So that was 66. That was this point here. This maximum point at around this entire thing, because this is actually curved. So I just kept sliding the calipers along until I found an area that looks like it was going to work. All right, what's the next step? So from this point to this point, we can go downward. So we'll extrude that downward. And then there's going to be another point, 0 out. See, now I push the calipers all the way. As far as I'm concerned, they're touching, and it's reading 0.01. I squeeze them together a little bit harder. I always like to pull them together and hit 0 just in case. And that's one of the things that gets in the way of uncertainty, because without going through the process of physically pulling them together like this and zeroing it, I could have just added a 0.01 error to my measurements. Now what I need to do is get inside here. I got to measure them at about 5 point. This is what I want to be a little snug. And there is a resolution factor on my printer, so anything that's like odd is usually not going to work out. Because the layers are done at 0.2, I think, millimeter. I'm getting a measurement of about 5.9. I got a feeling if I make it 6, it's going to be way too tight, and I want to be able to get the part on. I'm wondering if I just make it 5.8 and be happy with that. Because again, I just want it to lock in, and that 0.2 millimeter difference is only going to create a little bit of wiggle room, but I don't think it's going to be enough to cause this to snap off, because these things, in combination with these ridges, are what's going to keep it locked in from moving this way. These things here are going to keep it from sliding off. So the combination of the two of them, they're going to lock it into place. Let me take my measurement again. I'm saying 5.7 there. I'll say 5.8 for that depth. But then there's this area that I can only go down so far. I got 2.8. .6. Yeah, I got 2.6. So now I need to draw another rectangle, 2.6. Where to where? From this top point. How far down? Not construction, that's good. And we'll do the same thing the other way. Let's see what this distance is. I think that 36. Nope. Crap. I'll do that 2.6 by 36. And then I'll do the same thing this way. And what that represents is the area that we will extrude downward at a certain point, which have to be on another plane. Yeah, that'll be on another plane because that's going to extrude upward. I think the way I might do that is extrude downward this entire depth. And then I will then subtract out by extruding it downward again, a smaller amount. So now I'm going to check this depth again. I got 11.7. We'll call it 11.8 maybe. We can extrude that. See what the body looks like. The wrong way. Oh. Undo. Extrude. Undo, extrude again. .8. We turn the sketch back on. And this distance. I got 6.2. So now I'm going to extend downward. 6.2. Cut away from what I just extruded. Point 2. So now that's not connected to anything yet. It will be when I extrude down these other pieces. So that's the piece that's going to lock in. That's the piece right there. That little piece right there that's going to lock into that. And I'll repeat the same thing over here. $11.8. So I just right clicked and chose repeat extrude. And then I said that was 6.2, I think. There are the two pieces there. And that's going to be joined by, I think we're almost done. It's going to be joined by extruding down this piece around this. So I have to draw some connecting sketches. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Turn the body off. Connect. Now this can be extruded downward. That, I think that'll allow me to just select this area maybe. In the same sketch. Not. Let me select this. Let me select that. Somehow I needed to be able to highlight this area so I can extrude it. I think because everything is in different sketches, that's a problem. Can I copy and paste? Paste to the same one. Created different sketches each time I was doing something. What I want is the ability to select which sketch I'm working in. Might be it. There we go. Yeah, see, I just pasted a new one there. That really didn't help. Edit sketch. Yeah, my references aren't even in here. I wonder if I just continue drawing this. You doing? This piece I want to. Dude, I extruded that down. And I lost my buffer. No. Alright, we'll extrude 11.8. Oh, they're already there. Okay. I don't know what just happened. Thought I lost him. Alright, this guy. I want to extrude down 11.8. That's what's going to lock in, right? That's the part that locks in right there. It's one solid piece that'll get printed. And I'll print it this way, face down, and the only place we'll need supports is right there. So that'll be pretty efficient for printing. Alright, so we'll repeat that same sketch part on the other side. And it doesn't look clean, but I'm going to give this a print as soon as I finish this rectangle on the other side. Back. Wrong sketch. And that part, we're going to extend downward again, just like I did the other side, down 11.8 millimeters. Not you. Here we go. We're done for now. Prototype number 2. I really want to chamfer this, but I'm going to live with it. And I want to see if this will work. This will probably take a couple hours to print. What is this? And I'm going to choose 3D print from the file menu. And I'm going to save it to an STL. Everything. Crap, did I lose my... I lost my slicer. So, slicers, projects, 3D printing, newest one. Now I'm going to add this part that I created. Rotate on the axis. Nope, y-axis. And then I hit the arrange button. I want to go for an infill of 10%. Slice it. Oh, you know what? We need supports. All right, I'm going to slice it, and we'll export this. You know, I got to connect up my Octoprint. Yeah, I'm just raising the Z-axis away from the bed because I'm preheating it. And you preheat it with the axis down low, the thermistor will be in an area where it's not linear, what its temperature is. Will report in it. Sure the print bed was clean. Alright. Then we'll start up Octoprint. Hey Chad, thanks for joining. Don't know what time you joined, how far along you saw, but this is just a crude way to create a battery cover for the rigid battery. And then Greg the Great had a point, maybe I could use this to hang it on the wall, so this extra little bit of beef here will give me an area to create a notch like you would on a picture frame or a clock keyhole notch, I think they call it. I got the keyhole router bit. I wouldn't do it that way. I would actually do it by keyholing in the model here and printing. But I'm about to print it now. I'm in video editing. Project 3D printing rigid battery. Later. SP. I uploaded the wrong one. This might take an hour. Might not be that bad at all. 2 hours. Alright, so it's probably 2.5 hours because it's not that accurate as far as an exact time it will take. Yeah, looks like it's going to work, so I'm going to hit print. So what we'll do is I'll do a review video of this. I don't know if it'll be tonight. I might do some gaming tonight. I also have to work on an app, iPad app. So thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Check out my other videos, like the one where I did crown molding around my son's music studio and add lighting around it. That's right on my main page under signature videos. Leave a comment on there. Comments help because always leave a comment on somebody's video. It helps with engagement, and that helps the YouTube algorithm to decide how important that video is for ranking and suggesting. So, anyway, thanks for watching. See ya.